Hello everyone and welcome back to Hannah and Eastwood Get Real. We're just making a quick joint clip because this has made both of our piss boil. Because the SNP, I don't know what Nicola Sturgeon is thinking, but Nicola Sturgeon from the SNP has brought in a law on hate crimes. And this is basically the end of free speech as we know it, because there is now the threat of being arrested if you say, think or believe in anything that they consider is wrong. We are on the verge of the 1940s and the Nazis, because we're basically what the Nazis said was, if you do not want to be killed, then do not say or think or believe in the wrong thing. And what Nicola Sturgeon is saying is, if you don't want to be arrested, do not say, think or believe in the wrong thing. So we're on a similar line here. And a number of celebrities have spoken out about it, in particular Rowan Atkinson. And I'm a big fan of Rowan Atkinson. And this has made me even more of a fan by the way he stood up for this and said that this is absolutely ridiculous. And there's been a huge backlash against him online, which is totally disgusting. And I just wanted to read this tweet by someone. I'm not going to name who they are, but I will say what it says. And this was in response to Rowan Atkinson. Oh, look, another comedian moaning about free speech because of the SNP's new hate crime bill. If you don't want to be arrested, don't say the wrong things. It really is that simple. That is the tweet. That is a response to Rowan Atkinson. And when you read that, I just hear, it's like Hitler is speaking from the grave. It really is. And you know, there's nothing else to say about it. And Rowan Atkinson has got a serious point here, because comedians must be trembling right now, because they are no longer allowed to say anything controversial, anything that pushes the line. And I'm sorry, whatever people say, comedy is about pushing the boundaries and saying controversial things. I don't care what people say, that is comedy. And I would say 90% of comedians are popular because they say controversial things, particularly BAME comedians, funnily enough, because they base most of their material on taking the piss out of their race. That is what they do. That is what they base their sets on. So how on earth can comedy continue? And in particular, the Edinburgh Fringe, which is based in Scotland, where this bill is now in place. It can't go ahead, surely, because most of the acts will be arrested. Or most of the acts won't partake because they will have to write new material that isn't part of their comedy act. So I'm pretty sure Sam thinks along the very similar lines to me, but what would you like to...
Well, we've spoken a lot during the lockdown period, and especially since we started the podcast. And one thing I've made clear is that the BLM situation was all about black supremacy. Let's make black people the higher race, the master race almost. And now the master race is turning into the second Nazi party, or the resurrected Nazi party. And it's almost, if you don't join us, die, or get arrested, and we have to ask the question, how far will people go if you say something offensive?
And what do they consider as a hate crime?
Exactly.
That's not clear, is it?
I could do a show and take the myth out of the fact that I am a young white male who is unemployed. And I can guarantee someone will find an issue with it. And we've seen that with...
Well, exactly.
We've seen that with comedy for many years, but now we've seen Little Britain, Under Attack, Come Fly With Me, League of Gentlemen. Frankie Boyle is now under threat more than ever because, let's face it, his material, there's a line and he is far over that line. He sees that line as a target to surpass.
He does.
And Fascinating Aida performs some material that is
a lot of material, I would think, that Fascinating Aida produced will be considered as a hate crime. And I was actually surprised at Dilly when she writes her material, how offensive it can be. Yeah. I interviewed Dilly in 2017, and they were performing the following Christmas, or the Christmas of 2017. And I said, "Oh, could I make a request?" And she said, "Go on." And I said the Kangaroo song, which basically says, "If I've got to come back a second time, I'd rather be a kangaroo." And it's very funny. She does lots of jumping around on the piano, and lots of very clever choreography. And she replied, "No, because it's claimed as too offensive to Muslims or anyone who believes in resurrection." And of course, that's what it's poking fun at. Yeah. But it's harmless. Well, this is what we found with Black Lives Matter, isn't it? When people have been finding hate or racism where it isn't there. Cocoa Pops, White Cliffs of Dover, to name a few, you know. Where is this line going to be set, and who is going to decide where that line is? Because there's obviously some very, very sensitive snowflakes who find the tiniest little thing offensive. Where are they going to set this bar?
How far will people go before they are genuinely happy with the world? Because if you remove comedy, then there will always be other genres. There will be drama, where they look at racial abuse, and you can guarantee they will find issues with that drama on racial abuse, either that it's a poor storyline at the time, or it wasn't acted in the right way. People will always find issues with something.
Yeah.
And as we said before, with history you can't eradicate it. With comedy, and I'm sure I said this to Harry yesterday, if you're going to a comedy show, generally you know who the person is, and generally you know the type of material that they're going to perform.
Yeah.
So if you don't like the material, don't pay the 35 quid to go and see them.
It really is very straightforward.
It really is as straightforward as that. If you don't like it, you don't have to. Nobody is forcing anybody to sit in a theatre or a music venue and listen to someone sing or tell jokes for an hour and a half. No one is holding a gun to your head. People, wise up. If you don't like it, get a grip in life, move on.
People need to calm down. They really do. I mean, the fact that this is now law, this is now a criminal offence.
Where's Michael Fish when you need
something that is controversial is really worrying and dangerous. And I don't know where it leaves us, really, amongst the shower of shit that we're in 2020 anyway.
Well, exactly.
Just adds to the list of horrendous things that have happened this year and where the world is going, really. I think the future of comedy is in jeopardy.
I've seen this year regarded by many people as a horror story written by Stephen King. And myself, being a lover of Stephen King, knows that it will only get better, just because he is a master horror writer, but he is terrible at writing an ending. So we could go all year with an absolutely horrible year, come December, we'll all be fine. We'll all be fine.
Let's hope so. Let's hope so. But yes, that's we just wanted to get that off our chest a little bit because we both felt very strongly about that. So yeah, thank you for joining us for this clip, and we'll be back soon with some more videos for you. Have a good night.